You know what I mean? Guys, speaking of things breaking, Braun Breaker breaks Ricochet's back because he's going to
blew his back out.
He's going to AEW. And that is the shit that I'm talking about here. Braun Breaker, number one, I think the booking of Braun Breaker since he's made his debut on the main roster, good. I like it. I like him running in and spearing people. I like him with these brutal attacks. I love anything Steiner. I love. And this motherfucker, his last name may be Breaker, but that motherfucker is a Steiner through and through. And they could say that. If they were real, he should bump his head and come back and just be like, I'm Braun Steiner now.
He should be Steiner.
Just change it. Just do real quick.
People who find it out is like, why do they do that? Like, it's just weird that they wouldn't lean on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can I jump in here, Mike?
Yes.
I'm not convinced by all these rumors that Ricochet is leaving WWE. I think maybe he's just taking some time off. Isn't he supposed to get married? Maybe that's why Samantha Irvin went with him, his fiance. Because why would you have an episode if this guy is leaving your company? So much revolved around him, and he bases up 2 fucking matches for this guy, Ilya and Braun. So why would you do that? This guy's leaving your company. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, to be fair, while I think that what you're saying is a possibility, that he could be staying there, I also think that sometimes you write a guy off a territory. I think there is an allegiance, and they used it. It makes Braun Breaker look like a badass. So in that sense, I feel
but you built sympathy for Ricochet.
Yeah, but when Rick O'Shea shows up,
where
in the Impact Zone.
The Impact Zone?
WWE's not worried about it. They're really not. They just send him off, and now they turn their back and they walk away from it.
Okay,
they
but usually it's on AEW, not the Impact Zone.
Yeah, I was not sympathetic. I just thought Braun Breaker was awesome for doing that.
Yeah. Because he's going to AEW, and you're jealous.
No, jealous that he's going to AEW?
Yeah, and I also don't understand going from the number 1 company in the world to any other company who is not the number 1, and a bunch of them are fucking struggling right now. So to me, this doesn't make sense.
Well, number 1, it's probably money. Number 2, it's also the creative direction.
You better be getting a lot of fucking money, people. Leaving your wife. You hear Aleister Black, right? He wants to fucking come back. He's wanting to come back for like a year, Aleister Black. So maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side.
Well, again, Tony Khan will pay exorbitant amounts for guys that he'll barely use. So I could see it being a significant amount of money.
And
why would you do that?
You're complaining about speculation about him leaving, BJ.
Why would Tony Khan do that?
Too.
No, I'm saying why would Ricochet leave if you can be around your wife?
Maybe the money's just that good. Honestly, here's what I think. I do think it was writing him off. I think, I'm not going to say 100% chance he leaves, but usually when there's this much smoke from multiple places, not just like Dave popping his fucking
for real
mouth off, like if there's this much from like multiple places, it's usually going to happen, I feel like. And the way I view it is, Ricochet had reached his ceiling in WWE. I think he's an awesome in-ring performer and an amazing athlete, but you gotta be more than that to be a top dog and to be a consistent main eventer in WWE. And he never developed the mic skills, he never developed the character, he never developed the personality, and I don't think he's ever going to at this point.
Well, hold on, I never thought he was given the proper chance in WWE either.
Okay, but I think we saw quite a lot of promo segments over the course of 7 years.
No, we didn't. No, we fucking didn't. What are you talking about?
Paul, he was good.
He was good, but he wasn't. I was looking at him like, wow, that's a main event level.
Sure.
You gotta give him some more time.
And you say he was given opportunities. Name 3.
Mm-hmm.
Name 3 promos.
Name 3 opportunities he was given because I can't.
He cut probably 100 promos during his time.
Okay, and most people cut meaningless promos. It's about being put in a position to where the crowd can be invested in what you're saying. Plenty of people cut promos and they mean absolutely nothing.
He with Brock. He didn't
have a feud with Brock. Don't even do that. He got a squash match against Brock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he did have a feud leading up to it.
It was not a feud at all.
That's crazy, dude.
It happened for multiple.
Hold on.
It was not a fucking
real quick. You tell me.
Feud doesn't mean it was a great feud or that. But
it's not a feud. That's a matchup.
And then in the Royal Rumble, he contributed to him getting eliminated. That's a feud.
You tell me. You tell me all the time.
Going against the guy over the course of multiple weeks. That's a feud.
That was not a feud.
It's a feud.
You tell me.
They set up a match.
Hold on. Hold the fuck on. It's my turn to talk. Okay. Mike,
too early show.
Mike, you tell me.
I'm not whispering because it was a feud. I'm not saying it was a great feud, but it's a feud.
You tell me all the time, Mike, how I'm like, I start to not like people once they fucking leave AEW to go to WWE. It's exactly
that's not me
what
because
you're
I'm
doing
saying the
with Ricochet.
same things
It's
I've always said about Ricochet.
No, you said he could be a top star. You believed in him
I never
wholeheartedly.
said that. Absolutely never said that.
Well, you're wrong.
I've always
he was
said
never given the
he's
opportunity. You have no
amazing
idea.
in the ring. He's an amazing athlete, but there's no way you could ever put that guy a world championship on that guy.
Hey, you did it in Lucha Underground. You put a whole company around Lucha Underground.
Was Rey Mysterio excellent on the mic?
He's pretty good. Yeah, actually.
No, he never really was. That's not what he was there for.
Not
every naughty animals promo was terrible.
Filthy animals.
Filthy animals. I said naughty animals.
You said naughty animals. You're fucking freak.
They're nasty.
This is the thing that happens when somebody leaves WWE. This happens all the time. No matter who it is. Ricochet is at a higher level than a lot of people that it's done with. But Tucky left WWE oh my god, this man was fucking misused. He could have been a huge star. It's Ricochet had a lot of success. IC champion, US
champion. You compared him
North
to Tucker,
American champion.
for the record.
I'm sorry?
You just compared him to Tucker, so your point's fucking invalid. I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm not. I'm making a point.
Ricochet
I'm making a point. Is that people do this with every wrestler that
he's
leaves
one of the
WWE.
best in-ring workers.
I said
Ricochet
is at a much higher level, as you fucking know that I said that. So listen. He's at a much higher level than that. But not everybody in the history of wrestling can be a world champion. But people act like they can be. They can't be. He was, and actually, he was world champion in Lucha Underground.
Yes, and he carried the company for a fucking
great, and he never said a word. And I think there's something to that.
Okay, great. Guess what? Then you could do that in WWE with proper storytelling. You do it in AEW anywhere he goes. You find a way. Hold on. You said to me, not everybody can be a world champion, and that is horseshit because with proper booking and proper storytelling, you can make anyone a world champion because it's fucking predetermined. So don't tell me that.
Like Brooklyn Brawler, you're champion.
Guess what? With a good storyline, but with a good story,
can be world champion.
You're right.
You have a finite amount of world titles that you can give to a finite amount of people.
Cool.
If you're having long title reigns.
How about you give the guy a shot? You give him a real story, a real character. Because that's one thing. What's his character?
30 guys that you could give a shot.
Okay, but we're talking about one.
That you could give a shot.
We're talking about
Not everybody's going to be world champion. Mm-hmm. He reached his peak in WWE, at least the peak that they were willing to take him to. That's fair. And he's going to go to AEW, and this is part of why he's leaving. I think he's going to go to AEW because he feels he'll get more opportunities, and he probably will at first. Because I think their desire, and his desire, is to have that Will Ospreay match in AEW, because that was a viral match that they had before he went to WWE.
It's an incredible match.
And so they'll do that, but my thinking is, then it probably just, the bloom is off the rose after that, and they'll move him down, as they often do with people who come in.
Yeah, because you're a Debbie Downer about AEW and don't understand perceptive about WWE.
I think he settles into a position that's pretty similar to where he was in WWE. So, I think he believes there's going to be a better opportunity. He's probably going to get more money because Tony Khan will pay guys exorbitant amounts to make the jump, and that's fine. So I understand why he would do it.
Actually, it's better than fine. That's great for the business, for the record.
Okay.
It is. From a performer's standpoint, from the wrestlers we've always talked about who are underserved and under fucking paid and mistreated by fucking Vince McMahon and WWE because they were the only show in... No, they said that because they were the only show in town. Now, when you have competition, now you have said, hey, even if Chad Gable re-signed with WWE, he probably was like, hey, I could go to AEW if I wanted to. You better pay me a little bit more. So that's great for the performers. You know what I mean? It is.
I never said it wasn't.
But I'm just saying to you that it's a great thing. You're everything with AEW with you has this little air of fucking negativity that you don't have with WWE.
You hear whatever you want to hear.
No, I'm listening, and you fucking come at it from this perspective. I'm listen. If there's one thing,
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If that's how you want to hear it, that's how you hear it.
And if you don't like AEW, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you'll never be able to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, we'll just say the exact opposite with you in WWE, so let's spin our wheels some more.
Okay, but again, I'm not held the same standard you are, so.
That's on you.
No, it's actually on the fans. So, yes. But yes, Ricochet was never given the proper chance in WWE, and I think that is a fair thing to say as well. But yeah, I think that, now the stuff with his wife, I can't speak to. She may stay, she may go to, I don't know. I really don't know. But I
think she's going to go because I've never seen WWE quote unquote push an announcer like they have pushed her they go out of their way to mention her and to talk about how great she is. Like, they generally have never really done that with a ring announcer.
I agree that they put a rocket on a ring announcer for sure.
Right.
Now, whether she stays or goes, I think Ricochet's in this situation, and in any situation, you do what's best for you in this moment. You need to find what's best. If you can balance, being away from your wife at times for the idea of being at least put in a position to where you can excel, you can feel fulfilled. Like maybe it's not becoming a world champion. Maybe it's being unleashed in the ring the way you want to be. Whatever it is, he's feeling. It could be something as far as like you just have a job. Okay, the job pays well. I don't hate my job, but it's not fulfilling. I don't feel like I'm doing anything with it. I'm spinning my tires. I'd rather go take a risk, bet on myself, as others have, and then maybe come back in a couple years. You know what I mean? Maybe Cody Rhodes and these guys, they're blazing this new thing where it's like, I'll just jump every couple years back and forth. Doesn't matter. It could be like territories, which is what I've always hoped this would become, is that guys just jump around. They're like fucking Ziggler. I hope Ziggler one day goes to AEW and then goes back to WWE in demand. Like, this is the stuff that should be happening. It's beneficial to the performers. It's beneficial to the companies in terms of keeping content fresh. And it's beneficial to the people watching at home because they get to see the people they like in more desirable positions, dedicated to what they were like. I would love to see Ricochet pulling off the shit he did in Lucha, pulling off the shit he did in New Japan, and give me that guy again. Even if you say that he just goes in, he's a flavor of the month, and he kind of fades in the background. Give me something from him. I want more for Ricochet, and I think Ricochet wants more for himself. And for that, I do think they wrote him off. So,
and I'll say this: if his desire is to be a world champion, which I think most people who get into the business, they have a dream to be world champion one day. I don't think there's any question that he's got a better chance of doing that in AEW than he does in WWE. Sure. AEW, you could say they did it kind of something like that with Swerve, where I think Swerve has more personality and is better on the mic than Ricochet, but he was not viewed in WWE as, a top guy. And he leaves and he goes to AEW and he eventually becomes a world champion. So I don't know that Ricochet will become world champion there, but it was just not going to happen in WWE, I don't think. You have, Roman Reigns will be back at some point. You have Cody Rhodes. You have Drew McIntyre. You have CM Punk. Braun Breaker's on the ascent. Carmelo Hayes on the ascent. You've got just so many big main event
but
guys.
Like you said, over the course of 7 years, you couldn't have found a program, a character, a storyline, a feud to put him in a position. That was my problem.
I don't disagree that they could have utilized him better, but I don't think he should have been world champion at any point during his run. Is all I'm saying.
Fair.
I think you had, you just had better all-around options during that time.
Yeah, again, I don't know. So that's anything else about the week in WWE before we get to Clash at the Castle? Anything fun or interesting that you guys want to take note of?
I was going to say this about Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
He is so excellent in the ring that he was the person that Lucha built the entire company around. Mm-hmm. He was the face of it. He was champion. He had the longest running story. He was the guy. He had an amazing character without even having to speak. So it can be done. And he has the talent to do it in the ring. He has the mannerisms to get it done. So to me, I think it's a bullshit cop-out to say he never could, he can't do this, blah, blah, blah. No, it was done.
Someone El Generico'd him? Are you you're saying? Someone El Generico'd him so he can't do it because he was under a mask and didn't talk?
Well, no, I subsequently saw him cut 100 promos and he's not a main event promo guy.
So give him a manager.
Or don't make him not talk. But the thing about Lucha
that can be done.
I want to reference about Lucha and him in Lucha.
It's also very different than a WWE programming. So you're not gonna have a guy that never talks.
The person who Prince Puma was a world champion, was a top dog. But even when he wasn't around the world championship, even when he wasn't in the main storyline, he was still an integral part of what they were doing. And I think you could have, even if he wasn't going to be world champion WWE, Mike, he could have been a top guy. Because of the in-ring athleticism. Build it around that. His character is that he's going to fucking defy the odds and shit like that. Almost like, remember when Pac was the man that gravity forgot in the face? And he was very popular at that time. And he was super over. You could have done something more like that. He could have just done something. But, like I said, I think he's going to AEW. I don't know what's going on with Samantha Irwin. I think she's fucking overrated anyway, so she could stay in WWE.
Because you think she's staying in WWE. But
No,
if she
no,
made the jump,
If she was in AEW, she'd be the greatest thing.
I gotta tell you. I just think fucking people think she's super hot, so they're just fucking like, she's the best.
One, she is.
No,
and
no,
two,
sure.
She's also a great announcer.
Tony Chimmel's far superior.
Stop.
Where's the Fink? Give me the Fink. I'd rather whack to the Fink.
I think, obviously, the Fink is the greatest ring announcer of all time. But
Actually, Gary Michael Capetta is far superior.
Stop it.
He is. Gary Michael Capetta is the best ring announcer.
Stop it.
Okay. So it was real glass. Lars
Made me
Sullivan.
glass.
Lars Sullivan was there. CM Punk was angry. It was all.
CM Punk was not angry.
He was.
Okay.
I bet he was. He's pissed
He
off
wasn't.
that Roxy shot on him.
He wasn't mad because they actually know how to, control people in that company.
Okay,
so.
but if it was real glass, he
I was
wasn't
gonna say
using.
this. Braun Breaker totally ruined getting rentals for all the boys in the back.
No. That came from the junkyard. You gotta remember. That's Monster Truck. You know, the Monster Trucks always crush cars?
Yeah.
He got that guy from the same place. Yeah, but they didn't get it.
It was
from
repossessed earlier in the day.
They didn't get it from Hertz. They got it from the local junkyard.
I was gonna say this then, about the whole Ricochet thing. You guys are saying he's on his way out, and he's taking a fucking back bump onto concrete off the side of a fucking trailer. I don't know.
They're trying to hurt him.
Trying to hurt him on the way
They're trying
out.
to hurt him on the way out. That's Triple H for you, man.
I already told you, BG, he's getting his last little bit of selling in while he can, because he'll go to AEW and there won't be a cell to be seen.
Yeah, you're funny.
Me too.
You're funny.
I am funny.